One-hit wonder, but she fooled them all by becoming an international pop phenomenon. Sales in excess of 14 million, 6 top 10 albums, 16 top 10 singles and 4 #1s in the UK alone. Well, now she's released her first single in 3 years, Some Kind of Bliss.
'Cause every day is all there is in some kind of bliss. 'Cause every day is all there is in some kind of bliss.
Please welcome to Midday the pop world's most famous princess, Kylie Minogue.
What a nice welcome. Thank you.
Well, they love you. They're all here to see you. Give her another one. Listen to that adulation. It's great to have you on Midday.
Thank you.
Now, the CD, 3 years. What took you so long? These people have been screaming for the CD.
No, thanks for your patience. Well, none of us thought it would take 2 years to make, and then we've had additional delays and the little time that I took after my last album. So it's just ended up being 3 years. I mean, I would have loved it to be out earlier, but you know how it goes.
Yes,
delays.
It takes time. Now, you've written some of these songs, the lyrics to all, and you co-wrote one set of lyrics. Is that sort of a little personal insight into Kylie?
Yeah, I didn't set out to make it a very personal album. I just wanted to experiment with writing, and as it's turned out, I've worked on every song on the album, and it's a record of my journey during that 2 years that we took to make the album. So yeah, there's lots of personal moments, and I'm sure it's something of an insight into my world and my way of thinking.
Well, let's go back to 3 years, because the last one was with Nick Cave, a duet, a wonderful piece of work. But you, Kylie Minogue, Nick Cave, it was a very bold move at the time. Whose concept was it?
Nick's, yeah. I had heard for a few years prior to that from different mutual friends that he was interested in working with me, and didn't really make any moves to follow that up. I thought, oh, he'll contact me, whatever, you know. I was very interested, but I didn't contact him. And then eventually we met, and the first day I met him was the day I did my vocals, so it was one of the best, possibly the best thing I've ever done, I'd have to say.
And we're seeing how glamorous working doing video clips is. How long were you in the water for? With this, was that snake reel or
Yeah.
animation afterwards?
No, that's a Burmese python.
Glamorous day.
Glamour, oh, videos, all about glamour, yeah. Videos, I love doing them, but they're always really hard work, and you're always too hot or too cold, or something goes wrong, or you're in an uncomfortable situation, but I never care because they're so much fun to make, and then you get the end result.
Nick Cave also took you into directions which you probably never thought you'd go. For instance, the London's Royal Albert Hall reciting poetry at the Poetry Olympics, and not even more than that, you recited I Should Be So Lucky.
Yes.
Wow, how were you feeling waiting in the wings to recite poetry?
Very odd to recite I Should Be So Lucky. Normally before going on stage, there's your regular nerves, or your kind of, you know, the adrenaline, and you're excited and all of that. But this time I was really thinking, what am I? How has he convinced me to do this? Because it was the serious world of literature and poetry, and as you say, it's the Royal Albert Hall, so it's quite a...
So who did you have? I mean, we are talking the serious world of literature, and here's Kylie Minogue reciting I Should Be So Lucky?
Yeah, thankfully they understood where it was meant to be placed, which was, of course, with a great dose of irony. So I was wearing green tracksuit pants, no hair, no makeup, just thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? So I recited it, and the reaction was fantastic. It was just so perfect, and if you'd given me a million years, I would never have dreamt up something
But when you
like
say
that.
the words, recite the words, you know, as a singer, you know, you get out there, you've got a bit of rhythm happening and you're bopping along. But when you actually recite words, number one, I don't think I could actually ever recite anything I sang. You know how you sometimes
Yeah.
forget. How did you recite it and remember it all?
Well, I had a friend write the lyrics down for me on a piece of paper. So I bound out on stage and say, hi, yes, didn't expect to be here today, but I am, and I'm going to recite something that I didn't write, so I pull out my piece of paper. In my imagination, and straight after that line, that's when I could feel the reaction, and I knew that it had worked and I was safe, and went through and went up to and including the first chorus. So I ended up throwing a few lines back to Nick, and I couldn't repeat it. It was just one of those moments that I shall
So just
always be grateful for.
In the chorus, when you go, I should be so lucky, how do you say that as opposed to sing it? When you know, you've got the rhythm happening. Did it mean something different?
It's, no, well, actually, the lyric's quite sad. She's not really getting anything that she wants, and of course, there's that irony as well, that we all know it as such a happy hit song. I think I overacted the whole way and got away with it.
Well, it clearly went down extremely well. And talk about being lucky. Now, I know how hard you've worked because I was just mentioning to you before, one of my earliest memories of Kylie Minogue was you and Jason. We were in a bus somewhere between the Gold Coast and Mount Cootha on a Sunday, going up to Mount Cootha after finishing our appearances for a telethon. Now, I know it's been 10 years since Neighbours, and this is probably going back 80s, that you guys worked so hard. You worked 7 days a week, didn't you?
Yeah, some weeks we did. I mean, we knew we were caught up in that, you know, the ball was rolling and there was no stopping it. But I think we had more energy then and we were more naive, so we didn't say no to things. We just thought, this may never happen again, and we have to do everything that was asked of us. And I'm very willing, so yes, we did our share for sure.
But people just, you know, assume you just got there because you're a TV star and you read a few lines and that, but you really did the hard slog, as I remember.
You were there. Yes, you
Yeah,
know.
but I was about 17 paces behind going, I'm a little older. Wait up. But did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Do you have fond memories of those days? Because even when you look back, like people like you and I, because it's documented how we looked then, everybody, you got the photograph albums, you go back 10 years and you go, oh, you know, why did I wear that? What possessed me? Even things like locomotion. That look of locomotion. When you look back at the Kylie Minogue then, what do you think? I mean, here it
There
is.
she
Here we've
is.
got that. Who is that girl there? Do you recognise her?
Look at that rah-rah. Hardly. To be honest, I look back and I say the same thing. It's like a different girl, you know. I'm sure my parents don't feel the same way. They say, oh, no, that's you. That's the way you were. But I said, whoa, look at that hairdo. That was something at the end. Woo, the scrunch.
There, I got to say, no, just hold on a second. Now, there's the scrunch. Now, I deliberately brought that up to see how you feel because it sort of happens to me and I didn't want you to feel embarrassed because I pulled something out of my archives.
At least not alone.
Not alone. Well,
Yes.
we're never alone. You know, because I've had some of those memories as well and there was a particular look that I had which must have been about the same era.
Oh, there we go.
Now, there's a classic. Is that the scrunch you were referring to, Kylie?
That's the scrunch combined with a little blow wave.
Oh, that was half the
But
Farrah
you've got the big shoulder pads as well, I see.
That's my wedding dress. Excuse me, you have a problem with my wedding dress?
No, it's delightful.
Isn't it embarrassing when we look at those retrospectives? We do want to cry.
Well, the thing is that, as you say, everyone's got their photo albums, but they're normally tactfully hidden or cut up or burned in some cases. It's like... So, you know, when people ask about how embarrassing is it, I mean, I look back at that time and I'm a lot more accepting of all of the things I did in the early days. But there's still that embarrassment that's hard to get rid of, which is the same as if we all had to pull out our passport photos, which have the pictures from 10 years ago. And we'd be like this.
You too.
Oh. So...
Well, it's been great. Now, Danny's coming on in just a couple of weeks, your sister Danny. I mean, we hear so much in the news how competitive you two are. Is there anything you'd like me to ask her?
Ask her Oh, I don't know what you could ask her. I would just say hello and give her a kiss from me.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. She's a terrific girl, and we really appreciate your time. All the best with this new album.
Thank you.
The single is called Some Kind of Bliss. The album is out now, the Kylie Minogue. Oh, is it due out next year?
It's out in January.
Oh, so the single is out now and the album's out
That's
in
right,
January.
yeah.
Oh, I'm catching up. Actually, the other question I've got to ask you, if you look back in those days like the Locomotion look, what do you wish you knew then what you know now?
I wish that I had trusted my instinct more, because I think when you're younger, or at least that was my experience then, there's a team of professionals and they're all adults around you, so you tend to think, well, they should know what they're doing. And actually, I can look back at many pictures and see, it's not very strong, but it's apparent to me that I can see I'm not feeling comfortable. It's a big smile and I'm doing all the right things, but thinking, what am I doing in this? I mean, there was a picture of being in a rather Russian-looking hat. What am I doing in that?
Oh, yeah. Where, yeah, there was... it covered up the scrunch hair, though.
Yeah, save
Thank
yourself
heavens
from the
for gel.
scratch.
Carly, thank you very much. All the best with the album. Thank you for being
Thanks
so
for
much
having
fun
me.
with us. Kylie Minogue, ladies and gentlemen.